Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new here. My name is Brittany and today I'm going to be going over some new pens that have just arrived this morning and some new inks. So I have my TWSBI swatch book out because they are all TWSBIs, and then while I'm inking them up I'll talk to you a little bit about stuff that's going on in my life. So let's get started. Now, none of these pens are what I would call new per se, but they are ones that I wanted to add to my personal collection. And I will show you that new storage case that I had mentioned in a previous video that is allowing me to have all my TWSBIs in one location. So the first pen I want to get to is this transparent purple. And I will do some swatching with you. Oh, I'm going to grab some scrap swatching paper real quick. Okay, so let me just tear these real quick. I'll take this ruler. There's our swatching papers. Put that back. Alright, so back to this transparent purple. Quite gorgeous. Love this. These are pens that my husband got me recently. And I got this in a F nib, fine nib. Now for this pen, I got that Noodler's Purple Mountain Majesty that I swatched and said that I really liked it. So we're going to ink it up with that. There we go. And then I just want to get my little ink tissue there. So I'm going to be swatching this on a 28-pound white copy paper and a 160 GSM dot grid paper. That is that paper that is common amongst bullet journals. So this way I can get a feel for what it's going to look like for whenever I decide, if I do, to work with this pen and ink in my bullet journal. Can never get these boxes open. There we go. Oh, and I do want to say happy Coachella day one. I am so excited for the performances today. I'm most looking forward to Benson Boone, Beautiful Things. I love his performances. He has a great stage performance, a stage presence. Ooh, that is gorgeous. I'll get this going here. Okay. I'm so grateful to YouTube for putting Coachella on live. It has been great. My husband and I have been watching it now for 3 years, and it is such a great experience. I already have our foods and snacks I'm going to be preparing after this video. I've got some fruit. I'm going to make a big fruit salad and just all kinds of goodness. Alright, let's try this one out. I'll do the copy paper first. Now that looks like a broader stroke for a fine nib. That is what I got, right? Yeah, F nib. I was telling one of my pen pals, I just wrote to him, he had a similar experience with one of his new fine nib pens. And I told him, I said, yeah, some of my TWSBIs, I have several with a fine nib, but they write differently. So I don't know why that is. Very smooth. This is a very smooth writing pen. I love that. Does well with my cursive. It's got a nice ink flow. I barely have to apply any pressure. That's good. One of my TWSBI diamonds, I really have to have intention when I'm writing. I don't put severe pressure on it, but I have to put some on it to get my ink out, and that's a little frustrating. I think that's a pretty good match. I like that. Okay, now I'm going to swatch it on the 160 GSM. That's more of a fine nib writing there. So I think I mentioned this before. I noticed this when I was working in different journals with my fountain pens, that depending on the weight of your paper, you're going to get more or less ink flow. And so with this 28-pound paper, it's really absorbing the ink, and so it's making my lines look thicker. Whereas this, the ink kind of sets on the top of the paper a little bit more, and it has a more gradual soaking in to the paper, the 160 GSM, and so that's giving me a finer line. Now, I don't know all the particulars. That's just been my experience and what I've observed. And also the different types and weights of paper will affect the color of the ink as well. So you can see how this one is still wet. It's just taking much longer for it to, you know, soak into the paper. Love that one. So we're going to, I'll put those up here in my little toolbox. We're going to swatch this baby. We're on page 2. I think we're going to go into page 3 today. Very exciting. All right. So this is a TWSBI. Excuse me. This is an Eco. And it is an F. Well, we'll put transparent purple first. F nib. There we go. And that is Noodler's, the ink. Purple Mountain Majesties. There we go. Oh, and while I'm thinking about this, and we have the book out, I need to fix that TWSBI Diamond Gray. I mentioned it in like 2 or 3 other videos. I need to do it, so I'm going to go grab that pen. Alright, this is the TWSBI Diamond Nickel Gray that I got recently and inked up on the channel. And I didn't have the box sticker when I was doing the swatching, so I missed the nickel part. So we're just going to add that. There we go. Alright, I'm going to set this to the side, let that dry. Oh, and this paper, you can see there's ghosting from page 1. This is I believe a 120 GSM, so even the inks look different in it. Alright, so our next new pen is again another TWSBI. This is the black pen. I got it in an extra fine nib, and this is the pen that I was talking about recently that I think I talked about it on the channel. Maybe I was just writing to a pen pal about it. I don't know. Anyways, I got this pen in an extra fine because I got that Noodler's American Eel, Black Eel ink from a pen pal. And when I was doing all my swatching, it made me want to buy a bottle of that ink. So I did. I have it here. And I'm going to put it in this pen and try this in my bullet journal. Now, if you watch my bullet journal setups on the channel, I have been trying in 2025 to use my fountain pens more in my bullet journals. And my goal with this pen being an extra fine nib is that I'll be able to do my line work. So whenever I do my boxes, when I connect the dots on the dot grid paper, some of my lettering, I want to be able to use this pen for that. So because I really like that ink. So that is what the goal is with this one. It is a TWSBI Eco extra fine nib. Get this one going. Black and silver hardware. I believe there is also a black and rose gold. I'm not sure. But I got the black and silver. And the ink is that Noodler's American Black Eel. I love the little graphics that Noodler's uses on their bottles. And I love their bottles of ink as well. I think that they have a very decent size for their fountain pen inks. Plus they really fill it up. Love that. Okay, here we go. Ooh, I like how the ink rested on the nib there. That looks really neat. It's kind of like a little goatee. Anyways. Try to clean this just a little bit more. Okay. And then we'll get some of that paper. I'll go with the 28 pound again first. Now see this right off the bat, this one's more scratchy of a writing experience than the transparent purple. Perhaps because it's an extra fine nib. I don't want to say, excuse me, that that's the case just because I have other nibs that are larger that have a scratchy writing experience. So I'm not sure why that is. Maybe it needs to be, the nib needs to be ground down a little bit. I like it. Now I'll do the 160 GSM. Yeah, I think this is going to work really well for my bullet journals. It is a smoother writing experience on the 160 GSM paper, so that makes me happy. But I love that the extra fine nib has such control with the line. I think that's going to work really well when I do my line work in my bullet journals. So I think that is a success. So there we have that one. And the black and silver just looks very attractive to me. I don't know. It looks very clean. I'll put those ones up here and we'll swatch this one. Oh, and I'm so excited. Last night, my husband got me some virtual fitness races. The Conqueror Challenge released a hiking Triple Crown set, and it does the Pacific Coast Trail, the Continental Divide Trail, and the Appalachian Trail. Now, when I was doing my graduate studies, I did the Appalachian Trail virtual challenge, but they have since revised the trail and the app experience, the digital app experience. So this new version that they came out with has virtual postcards included, And it also has a embroidered patch that's on the back side of the metal, which I'm excited to include that on my fitness journals, or I might put it on my tote. I haven't decided yet. So he got me those, so going to be getting on that treadmill a lot. Because I do opt for the longer trail routes whenever I do any fitness, virtual fitness challenge. So instead of going like 100 miles and just being done in the short mode, the long mode takes you for the full length of the trail. So all 3 trails combined is over 7,000 miles. So that's going to keep me busy for a while. I'll just put silver. I don't normally put the name of the hardware unless it's like rose gold or bronze. But I mention this because if one of my pen pals is watching that I just sent a field note trail book to, that booklet is a match for one of the trails that they just released that I got last night. And so I have another set, a complete set, that I'm going to be using those field note books for my tracking my steps and which days I do it. And then I also think that it would be interesting to track whether or not I do treadmill miles or if I go out and do a hike. So this is interesting because the label was saying black eel, but when I got it from my pen pal, I'm pretty sure he called it American black eel. So I'm just going to keep with the spirit of my pen pal, nothing against Noodlers or anything, but for memory's sake, I'm going to call it American black eel. So that is something I am super excited about, and I wanted to mention the field notes because we're going to be turning to page 3 of my TWSBI swatch book here, and that reminds me of the field note staple day. So that's like a little tradition. Whenever you get to the center of a field note notebook, there's you can see the staple through the middle of the pages, and they call that staple day. So while there aren't staples in this book, there's stitching rather. I'm still going to treat it like staple day. So we'll let that dry before I turn to page 3. Here is my black. I think it looks very sleek next to the purple. Now this last one that I'm going to swatch today, another TWSBI, of course, love my TWSBIs, is the white with rose gold. And I got that in a medium nib. And I will have to journal all of these and swatch these ink in my Hobonichi Techo here after bed. Beautiful. Oh my gosh, look at that. So pretty. The rose gold, I just love their pens with rose gold. So, pen friend, if you're watching, and I know that you are, we were just talking about this pen, and you had told me what ink you had put in it, and sorry, but I'm going to copy you, and I'm going to put the same ink in it that you have in yours. This ink, I want to mention real quick, is what I filled in my Kakuno pen with. And that's the Drowsy Light Blue Kakuno. I just bought a bottle of it because all I had was the sample. So that's what that one is. So if you don't see me opening this one, that's why. I already have that pen inked up. But that's what that one is. But yeah, so I'm taking your idea, and you have Robert Oster Rose Gilt Tynte in yours, and that's what I'm putting in mine. And then when I reach for this one, I'll always be reminded of you in our conversation about the cream and rose gold pen that you gifted me with the Hello Kitty Kitty by Van Dymene, because this pen is very similar. I have that actually right here. I'll just whip it out. Look at that. They could be twins. TWSBI twins. I love it. So this is the pen that you gifted me with that here kitty kitty ink. I absolutely love them, and we're gonna ink this one up. I think they're similar in my opinion. This one I think is just a little bit darker, so we'll see. And then I got all of these, I should say, from Goulet Pens and all the ink. And I had to get samples of this ink because they didn't have any bottles left in stock. So that's why I'm working with the sample. I wonder if I should probably combine these just to make sure I get a pretty good fill on my pen. I'm going to do that. At least one anyways. Shake this up real quick. See all that shimmer stuck in the bottom? You guys know I love my shimmer. Got to get all that out of there. And then I will come back in with my dip pen and syringe and get the rest of that creamy goodness at the bottom out of there. Probably do some art with that. So just shake this real quick. I love how smooth these pistons are when you first get them. Alright. Here we go. Probably get this one all mucked up because I got to go down in there. And just close this up real quick. Alright, and then got my papers here. Again, the 28-pound first. And this is an M nib medium. Oh, I love watching that shimmer pour out. So gorgeous. So thank you very much, friend, for telling me and sharing with me what ink you have. I do think that this is fairly close to the Here Kitty Kitty. I'm quite happy with it. And then how appropriate that it's in a pen so similar to the one that I have that ink in. Gorgeous. Well, you can really see it in the barrel too, all that shimmer. I'm gonna have to be careful with this pen, even though it's a medium nib, and make sure I'm using it often, and when I'm not, I'll have to clean it out because I don't want it to get clogged. But I think that's a fairly decent match for the rose gold. Very pretty. All right, are you ready, guys? We're turning to page 3. I'm so excited. Love it. So this is the TWSBI Eco White Rose Gold medium nib, and that has Robert Oster ink, and it is rose gilt Tynte or Tynte. I never say these inks right. Gorgeous pen. Absolutely gorgeous. Now I was debating on whether or not I should get the Eco or the Diamond because they do have this color combination available in a Diamond, but I ultimately decided to get the Eco. Let me show you this new pen case I got for all my TWSBIs. Look how cute! And I got this sticker from Goulet Pens, and I wanted to put it on here because it's specifically my case for TWSBIs. So I got this from Amazon, and I believe it holds 48 pens. So here are my blues, because blue is my favorite color. You can see a lot of them have shimmers. I love the shimmer. These are my diamonds, my TWSBI diamonds. I do have another TWSBI diamond that's not in here. It's that nickel gray. That's because I have it out because I'm using it in my bullet journal currently this month. I just have my TWSBI rainbow notes there. Here is my TWSBI rainbow. Looks really nice all together. And then these are my off colors. I do have these other ones that should be in here. But again, I have them out because I'm using them in my bullet journal currently for the month of April. So that's why they're not in there. But I love this pen case. It's gorgeous. I love having them all in the same place. And then now these pens are going to go in here, and so I'm ready to use them, of course. So there you have it. But that's what I have for you today. These 3 gorgeous pens. I think they look really good together too, all lined up like that. And then here are the swatches. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope that you've enjoyed this content. I know this one was mostly geared towards my pen pals, but like I said, this channel, I usually talk to them anyways. But I hope that you've enjoyed this, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye guys!